area that I'm not too familiar with, and I definitely don't know much about fungicides, but as promised last week that today we're going to discuss fungicides, learn about it, and again I have Mada who is going to tell us more about this. Now today we're visiting a farm, and I know you've already spotted some leaves that might have a bit of disease, right? So Mada, tell me about fungus. Like, how do you know that you need to use a fungicide? Or
okay, Bula. Today we're here in a farm in Waiture. So you can actually see the difference of the growth of the crops within this plot. There's a different growth on the other end towards this end. To me, it's an indication of soil acidity. And the plant this side is not getting full mineral benefits that it should get to grow healthier like the ones on the other side. And we can see a few deformities in the leaves that are not fully developing well, which is also an indication of nutrition deficiency, which means mineral deficiency. The plant is not getting all its required nutrients from the ground to fully grow well. And also there's indication of insect infestation and disease. Today we are here to talk about disease, and there's this leaf that I just pick off the, from the plant. Just look at this at the back.
That's very spotty.
It's septorial leaf spot. The disease is called. So it's very important for farmers to ask for advice, to know exactly which disease is infecting the crop, so then we can only advise them on the proper solution. It's the same thing that we addressed during the last week's episode on insect management. The better they know the identification of the pest that is feeding on the crop, the better they will be able to solve it by using the right chemical. It's the same thing with disease. See, this is the sign of septorial leaf spot in okra. Right? And eventually a leaf can turn yellow and die off. And if it spreads, imagine if it spreads to all the leaf in the plant. If the plant loses all its leaf, then it loses its ability to process its own nutrition. But leaf plays an important role, as we mentioned over and over again, for the process of photosynthesis. This is the kitchen for the plant. You remove the kitchen for us human, and maybe you start feeding on raw products. But how long can you give? Because this plays an important role, and this is attacks this. And there are many ways that you can tell by the color, discoloration of the leaf as well, and it also appears on the fruit, actual fruit of itself, the crop itself. So we're dealing with the fruit trees. I mean, they'll be looking to get a good crop for the market. But if the the fruit is not fully developed and good looking as it's supposed to be, because it can be crooked, bent and ill shaped. No, it's not the right shape, and no customers won't be able to buy them. So the farmer will lose out, and all the effort of land prep and all that will be wasted. So when you're dealing with fruits, I mean vegetables and based fruit, you're dealing with fertilizer, weed control, insect management. The most important thing that most farmers, we found out that is lacking in is disease management. The Agchem has been in the country since the 80s, and believe me, we're exporting more fungicides to Tonga and Samoa than the one we'll sell locally. That means there's a big gap of farmers not applying the right fungicide at the right timing to get a good crop. If you compare Fiji to Tonga, Tonga is just a small place. We've been to Tonga, we've seen how they work. They are very disciplined farmers, they keep to the program. Even yams, they do fungicide treatment for disease management. And they're exporting yams to Australia. They're exporting squash pumpkin to Japan and buttercup. Fiji can't even do that. Why? Because we're not following the right program. And this is one of the areas we need to improve on. And it's very important to educate farmers out there to know the difference between disease infestation and insect infestation. Because if you talk to most farmers, for example, this is a classic example. We were at Singatoka Valley with one training for farmers with guys from SPC and Cornevia. We went into the field, walked into the field, and I talked to the farmer and said, you have powdery mildew. Powdery mildew the surface of the leaf, it looks white like powdery dust.
Yeah.
And I told him, you have powdery mildew on your cucumber, on okra, and pumpkin. He looks at it, he said, it grows like that in Singapore sometimes. We all look at each other, we laugh. For me, and the two guys from SPC and Cornelia, we know where the problem is. But it's a pity the farmer says it grows like that in Singapore, because that's how he understands it. See? Somebody should educate him to know the difference between that's a disease infestation, that's an insect infestation. Most farmers deal with fertilizer, deal with weed control, they know insecticide.
Yeah.
But this is one area we found out that more farmers are lacking, and we still need to educate more farmers on disease management. Otherwise, you won't be able to get a good harvest. Because this is one of the area, I mean, when it's infected, the crop is infected with disease, you won't be able to get a good return.
So how can you differentiate between an insecticide, you know, or an insect infestation and a fungus disease?
Okay. Classic example, see, insect infestation, you can actually see the damage like this. There's holes, there's feedings.
Okay.
When insects actually start feeding on the crop, you can see, because insects feed on the outside.
Yeah.
And you can always turn the leaf and see the larvae at the back.
The eggs,
yes, like those scales that I pointed you on the citrus, it also happens on this. And there's a slight discoloration of the leaves. But this is, because disease infestation, it's in within the plant system.
Yeah.
See, most of the diseases, it comes up through the root system.
Yeah.
As the crop is growing, like those young ones, there's no indication, because you have no idea that you're already infested in the plant. And towards like this, it's already flowering and fruiting. At this stage, then the first indication shows that the disease is already in the plant system.
Wow.
So for us, the best way to combat this, it's a preventative measure. We always tell farmers, you do your fungicide application as a preventative measure. As the crop actively grows up, before it reaches its full potential, where it produces the fruit. So if they have, for example, 3 or 4 applications towards their growth, by the time they start flowering and bearing fruit, the plant is healthy. So it's more like an antibiotic you give it to the plant. So it helps the plant system fight off the disease. Yeah. Because with insects, it's attacking from the outside. When it first attacks the crop, you can know. Every next day, there are indications that can tell you that insects start feeding on my crop. But when disease starts infesting inside the crop, you have no idea it's already there. It only shows up when the plant starts to produce crop. So it started to fruiting now. But it's already there. But then now you need to spray. But at least if you do a preventive measure before it reaches this stage, you'll get a better control. And you'll get a better crop.
Right. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to finding out from Saiyad, who's going to join us next, about what kind of products to use, because I know that Agchem themselves, they stock a lot of different kinds of products, all for different things, and you can always talk to the team from Agchem to find out which one is right for you. But coming up next, Saiyad joins us to tell us more about the products. Now, this farmer has a very, very stunning bean plot, and it looks visually very pleasing. But Saiyad, in fact, has already noticed a few problems, right, Saiyad?
Yes.
So what's happening here in this poor farmer's bean plot?
So I have noticed there's a problem with the bean. It's growing well.
Yeah.
First, I would like to start with the insect problem. This is caused by the leaf miner. It's not the disease, it's caused by the leaf miner. It's neither on top, it's nor under the leaf. It's in between the leaf. So as you move along, it creates this kind of marks on the leaves, and later it starts to rust.
Wow.
And this drops the crops, the quality of the crop. Yes, because It's covered with all this. So once the leaf is open, it needs to trap the sunlight for photosynthesis. It can't, because all these are blocking its way.
Ah.
Yes. Leaves should be something like this. Nice, glossy. So once it's open in the day, during the day, it can trap the sunlight.
Absorb, yeah.
The sunlight for photosynthesis.
Right.
But here you can see the condition of the leaf is not good, eh?
Yeah.
And there's some problem with the nutrient deficiencies. The
Yeah.
leaves are turning yellow. And also, this is problem. It's a major problem in bean rust.
Yeah.
Common
Oh,
problem.
like
Yeah.
this is a common problem.
Yes. It
Okay.
happens in long bean, French bean,
Yeah.
any bean, rust. So the best product you can use for rust,
Right. I wanted to ask you about the
Yes.
products. Okay.
foliar spray. Foliar spray is very good on green beans, rust. So since we are in cyclone season now,
Yeah.
so we'll be expecting more rain. So this is to be applied with sticker,
Right.
so it sticks on the leaves.
Yeah.
Doesn't wash off.
So those two have to go together?
Yes.
Okay.
Sticker is it's a general sticker. It goes with fungicide, insecticide, and a herbicide.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a very good product in this kind of weather. Eh?
Yeah. And what else? What other kind of fungicides can we use for the different
Yes.
problems?
You can also use something like this on beans. I mean, this also
Okay.
works very good on beans.
And then,
This will solve this problem here as well.
which is the spotting.
Yes, the yellowing of the leaf.
Yeah.
You can also spray with lime and also spray with the fungicide. This won't happen.
Ah. Okay.
Even it can stop rust too if you spray when the plants are young,
Yeah.
like Mada mentioned earlier.
Yes.
The first application of foliar spray, the fungicide you should do is when they are when it's most probably after 2 weeks after planting. That's when the true leaves open.
Okay.
So you spray once every 2 weeks. So it's like an antibiotic for the plants.
Yeah.
So once the disease starts to enter the crop, they can't, because it's already been it's been applied with the fungicide.
Yeah. The antibiotics
Yes,
have already
so-
been given.
So
Okay.
it's like a guard
Yeah.
for the crop. This is the this is the coside. It contains the copper hydroxide.
Yeah.
This also works very good on chilies, the anthracnose, tomatoes. It also is very good on bacterial spot, downy mildew, and anthracnose I mentioned earlier on chilies.
Yeah.
But you can also use this product here, Menzate. Works very good on anthracnose.
Yeah.
There's another product called Talendo. It's a bit expensive product,
Yeah.
but it works very good on powdery mildew.
Ah. Okay.
People in Tonga, they mostly use this on their watermelon,
Yeah.
squash.
And
It's very good on powdery mildew only.
this is how many liters?
Comes in 1 liter. per
1
size.
liter.
Yes.
Okay. And like how much can I make out of this? How much spray can I
The
make out
mixing
of it?
ratio is on the label.
Yeah.
It says 25 mils into 100 liters of water.
Oh wow. So that's pretty
The
big.
application is very less.
Okay. So it's worth the money.
It's worth the money.
Yeah.
You can apply this, like you can harvest so many crops with this 1 liter.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, having seen all these products, would you say, because a lot of the farmers, like Manda mentioned, they don't think that it's important to use fungicides. That's not a concern for them. Do you disagree with that? Do you think that
I agree with Manda.
Yeah.
Because like he said earlier, if it's insect infestation, it has an indication that there's been infested, the
Yeah.
crops has been infested with insects.
Yeah.
So you can go out and spray the insecticide. No, they don't do further damages to the crops.
Yeah.
But the disease, they are mostly in the ground and travels by water, absorbed by the roots.
Right.
So once it's taken up by the plants, you won't be able to notice. But once you see the crops are bearing fruits,
Yeah.
you see the fruits are not developed properly, So that's too late. Once you take it to the market, it's been rejected.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So as a farmer, if you don't want your crops to be rejected in the market, so it's always good to do the fungicide application, the insect application, the herbicide application, the right fertilizer.
Yeah. To get the best.
Even there's another beauty about the fertilizer. Our fertilizer is sustainable and organic fertilizers.
Yeah.
It increases the sugar level of the crops, and the insects don't like a crop which has high sugar level.
Right.
So they'll go to the weak plant and they'll attack on that. If your crop has been applied with the right fertilizer, the Brix level goes up and they won't attack on those crops. So in a way, if you use the right fertilizer and the fungicide on time, there won't be any problem.
And Sayyad, what Manda was telling me about before, the septorial leaf spots, what do we use for that specifically?
You can use this. This works very good on septorial leaf spot.
Yeah.
But since we are in cyclone season, so it's always good to mix with sticker.
Ah.
At least 2 hours no rain, it dries up, it sticks on the leaf.
Okay.
After that, if it rains, no problem. The chemical still on the leaves. So, but for this, you need to spray when the crop is 2 weeks old after planting. That's the first application you do. It's when the two leaf stage comes up.
Yeah.
And then spray once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's best to spray it when it's still quite young, right? The plant.
Yes.
Because as it grows older, it becomes less effective when we put.
It's kind of too late.
Yeah.
Spraying.
It's too late.
So it's always good to spray like if you planted today. When it's 2 weeks after planting, you can go with the fungicide application. That's the time when the true leaf stage opens.
Yeah. Well, they say you learn something new every day, and I myself have learned something new today about fungicides and fungus disease on your crops. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about. We talk about insecticides and pesticides, but not fungicides. So hopefully you guys learned something, and if you're interested in any of the products that we mentioned today, please contact Agchem and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you out. Now, coming up next, we actually visited Sunia. You might remember him from an earlier episode, and he has his Dalo farm and it's going super well. But we actually went back and visited him on the 3rd month, and this was after TC Ana. And yes, of course his crops were damaged by TC Ana, but the way they have come back up and they've fought back is incredible. So let's go catch up with Sunia and Manda and see how his farm is doing. Post-tropical cyclone Ana, we visited Sunia Rokolekutu's Dalo farm in Nosori to see how the plants had bounced back from the damages. And boy, were we pleasantly surprised. This is Sunia's farm 3 months after planting. Manda, we are back at Sunia's farm after 3 months. Give us an update on what's happening here.
Okay. See, we were here, last time we were here, it just 8 weeks old, isn't it? Now it's 3 months. Since this was planted on the 10th and 11th of November. Now, 2 weeks ago there was a cyclone, tropical cyclone Ana that caused it. It has a devastating effect on the plant. Most of the current leaf that was there was shredded by the cyclone. But just look at the recovery by the plants. This is just 2 weeks ago, where the cyclone is. Just look at some of these plants, the way they respond to the damage that was caused by the cyclone, and the way they sort of fight back. No? This is beautiful. This shows how good the agro inputs that was used. See, in this case, we use the sustainable fertilizer, which is mineral based. And during the cyclone, the strong winds, the heavy rain that comes during cyclone, the fertilizer that was applied just before the cyclone, he mounted up. It doesn't leach out, doesn't get washed off by the rain. So the plant constantly feeding. So it doesn't lack nutrients. So that's why it's able to fight back. Just look at the new leaves that are coming out. Just look at the sizes and the texture of the leaf. Look at this one. See this one. Just look at the size of it. Look at the size. Just look at the size of the new leaves that are rolling up. This is beautiful. This shows the advantages of the agro inputs that we use on this one, and this shows a big plus for the farmer. So after the cyclone, even though the cyclone damaged most of the leaves of the plant, but the plant has the ability to fight back after that, to respond to that, because it has nutrients that it needs at the required time to feed him. It's growing well. And talking to Sunia earlier this morning, He said he'll be doing another weed control next week to clean this, and he'll be following up with on the program on the application of Protect Citrus. But then he's already, I talked to him and he said, I'm happy with what I'm seeing at the moment. For him, what he told me is that it keeps on surprising him, just the way the plant responds back. And it's coming, just look at it, right here. It's beautiful. And if you look at that corner, near the roadside, in Dalo that we're just talking, just look at that Dalo, they use chicken manure, NPK and urea. It doesn't look good. 2 weeks now after the cyclone, it's still, well, its progress is very slow compared to this one. This just proof of what we've been talking about, fixing our soil and using the right agro inputs that will support plant growth. And we're already looking at, by doing this, we're happy that, and we're sure that he's going to get a good harvest from this field. Thank you.
If you're interested in purchasing any of the mentioned products, you can visit the following Agchem distributors. Contact Agchem on the following numbers. You could even visit them in person. They're located on Wailanda Road in Lami.